Hey, thanks for joining. This is a simple Kurogiri guide, short and sweet, console friendly, PC friendly, what have you. There is a PC player who put a fantastic guide. If you want to see that, I could recommend that as well. It also covers a lot of tech that I will not be covering. So, with that all being said, let's get into it. Alright, first things first, jabs. 3-string jab, very simple. Air jab, Kurogiri jumps forward, does a large hitbox, covers a lot of ground. As you can see there, Bakugo is nearby, and even though I'm moving backwards, Kurogiri is finding the target, because air jab in this game has a little bit of a generous tracking when someone's nearby. It's not only air jab, there's a lot of moves in the game that do that, but air jab is fantastic. I do recommend putting a lot of faith into it, especially because you could just do air jab into a jab string, and then you can reposition and figure out what you want to do against the target later. Alright, next up is Kurogiri's Alpha. I've taken my test subjects to water zone so that I have a wall to work with. As you can see, Bakugo is getting hit through the wall by the Alpha, which is very fantastic if you have perception or if you know where someone is and they're trying to heal safely behind a wall. Alpha covers that very nicely. Alpha has a larger size at 4, and it's a lot more reliable at level 4, so I don't recommend actually going for 4. It's more of a passive thought for me, but you can do it if you like it, and a lot of people like to get that Alpha 4 up so that it's more reliable. It comes out in a parallel fashion to your camera, so if you're aiming up or down at somebody, it's not likely it's going to get a good AoE on them. But it is fantastic for setting up traps if you try to stay horizontal, if you know there's items that you're trying to block, if someone's going for a res, or if someone's pushing you really hard, you can just put up a bunch of traps and say, oh, well, they're going to take the AoE damage while they're aggressing me. So you can just punish people for that. Okay, next up, Kurogiri's beta. Tap the beta, create an instantaneous entry and exit. Hold the beta. It creates a projectile. As you saw, it had travel time, and it also travels even farther, so you can cover more distance. If you wanted to jump into a portal and do betas, then you could tap from over there, tap to fly up, and tap over here. So make sure that if you want to do air portals that you travel to, you jump into the beta. That way, Kurogiri flies into the trajectory of where you're creating your next portal. You could also do it to tap up, tap down. Makes it so that people who are chasing you kind of have a harder time getting to you. Anytime you jump through a portal, it makes it easier to do a follow-up portal. I recommend early learning Kurogiri to just focus on hold, not doing the fancy tap stuff too much, especially because hold is your projectile, and that's your combo. If you hold it 3 times, and you hit the target with all 3 hits, then you could do a 3-hit combo, which is fantastic. You can also follow up with a gamma beta, which is advanced stuff that we could get into. But the tried and true for me is if I know I want to do all 3 betas on someone, I'll go for an air jab at the end. Fantastic damage. If I want to reposition an opponent, snatch them, set them up with perception, warp them somewhere else, watch them with the gamma, maybe projectile, hit their wake up, yada yada. The gamma, you don't have to worry too much about. For now, I would say just get a handle of warping people in. You do have to be wary of using all 3 of your betas, because beta is your easiest movement tool. However, when I get to the gamma, it will circumvent some of those problems, because I like to use all 3 betas, and then while they're in knockdown, I'll reposition with gamma. Okay, next up is the gamma. If you have Kurogiri's beta online at level 7, then you're going to want to start doing nothing but gamma. That's my opinion, which you could go for alpha 4. Some people like to do that. But beta 7, gamma 9, that's my recommendation. The gamma is a mist, and you can press jump and crouch to navigate. You can also use the camera and the stick to navigate. When you shoot a held beta shot, it snatches opponents. It is a projectile. I recommend doing that to pinch people out of fights, and then come back to your body by holding the gamma to go back to your body and preserve ammunition, as well as punish people that you snatched. When you tap tap the gamma, you warp to it and you consume ammo. So you see that I went to the mist. If you're in the air and you want to reposition really hard, you could create portals like this, and then you could tap gamma here, and boom, I repositioned. Which is not necessarily advanced, it's just a nice little touch. I don't tend to do that maneuver a lot, but it is very useful. The gamma can also shoot alpha shots, which I don't tend to do that myself. But I know that you can do alpha and beta together, which is just a really nice setup for a little extra damage if you know you want to snatch somebody. The alpha and the beta are functioning almost exactly the same as the regular alpha and beta. The beta is unique in that you can't really do a combo damage. You see they went into full knock. So if you're doing the gamma, you're probably just trying to do one snatch and then go back to your body by holding gamma and then punish with air jabs, or maybe set up betas, or even just like reposition away from them and then punish them later. The gamma is something that you really, really want to put a lot of practice into. The lead on shots, like if someone's moving, then you want to aim the beta shot ahead of where they're going. And you want to do that with regular beta as well, but especially with the gamma shot, because you can get a lot of mileage out of that, especially in quick fights when you do this. And the other last detail, I know this is a lengthy one, gamma gives you armor. So if someone's attacking you, then they think, oh, they can punish you. A twice might gamma you, and Kurogiri doesn't care. Like, that gamma will connect, and the twice will just keep going. If you knocked over a twice, and you're like mid-fight, and Bakugo is the twice, right? He gets up, he's like, oh, I'm gonna gamma you. I gamma, I watch him, and then I beta as he's approaching me, and I get extra punish. Especially if they're low health and they think, oh, I can just like punish someone who's close. Getting into gamma state, having that armor, and then expecting people with a button wake up is a fantastic utility, and I recommend getting a lot of mileage out of that. You can even set up an alpha shot ahead of time to like make sure that they fall into that trap and go for the beta shot. Okay, so on the topic of SA, your teammate is down, they're gonna die. Boom. They're okay. Kurogiri's SA has 2 ammo. If you try to make sure that you keep reload cards, that's what I like to do, then if you think that you can get to your second SA and like be able to conserve ammunition for that, then that's fantastic. Be wary of your positioning. If your teammates are in deep fights and you're not in a good spot to SA them, then it might be a bad idea to do it. Just make sure you're in a good spot, reposition as you need, and then tap the SA button to warp them out of trouble. The SA can grab both teammates with a single cast, so it's a little rare that you line it up that nicely, but it's useful to remember. Good thing to keep in mind. And when you've SA'd your teammate to you, and then you say, oh, okay, go back in the fight, and then you'll send them back in there, and you'll be good, because you can watch over them with the drone and make sure they're okay. If a teammate's down and you're out of SA, you can beta them. I mean, I just baited him in iframe. So my teammate was down on the ground, and to get him out of trouble, I just set up a beta. And in gamma and beta, you could use those to get people out of trouble. SA, you're gonna wanna do that as well. Another thing to remember, if you were moving because someone was chasing you and you want to SA your teammate soon, then you despawn any portals you have active whenever you press the SA button. Which is very useful, because if you were getting away from an opponent really quickly and working really hard to get away from someone, and they might use your portals, SA despawns your portals. So that's something to remember, keep in mind. Try not to set up portals ahead of an SA that you want to use later. Try to set up the portals afterwards, which I have made that mistake once or twice. And that's it for the SA, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so there's a little extra detail that I would like to bring up. So you saw a little bit of perception in the video. Perception's fantastic on Kurogiri. His air jabs and jabs are fantastic if, you get into gamma, someone thinks they can get away, and you see them through walls, and then suddenly you're wall banging them, punishing them, yada yada. I do recommend perception tuning. There's obviously other fantastic ones like high-speed replen, sisterly embrittlement, you name it. There's so many things you could do with this character. Reinforced revive. There is another detail I wanted to mention. If you create portals and you're trying to get away from opponents, or if you're trying to get out of storm, then I recommend starting like your green heal and then warping through the portal and flying. Or if you're trying to buy time because people are fighting you, then you could do heals while you're going through a portal. You can do that mid-fight. You could do it mid-storm. You could do it to escape storm easily, help your teammates get out. You can also use Gamma to scope out where you want to go in storm. Send a portal out there. Gamma to get that portal. Get the loot, maybe your teammate that was over here. Resolve what you need to do in storm. And warp back out. Your portal's still here. So that's a little extra detail I wanted to throw in. And you can even use beta and gamma beta to like do storm maneuvers and stuff like that. You can heal, and while you're healing, start entering your portal healing, and you'll be healing while you fall. Just little extra details that you want to remember, especially because Kurogiri support, so a little extra potency on the green means it's a little easier to manage the storm damage. When it's deeper storm, like when 170 HP is the bare minimum for a big heal, you can still be a little bit bold with Kurogiri because you have those portals that allow you to do stuff and then heal as you come back in. So that was a little extra detail I wanted to throw in. All right, and with all that being said, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. If you get a lot out of this, then I'm grateful, and I hope that it goes a long way for you. Make sure to watch people online. I sometimes put up a little bit of Kurogiri posts on Fresh Lavender Reddit, and make sure to watch other players. And also, if you really, really want to dig into the character, there's another guide that is fantastic if you want to learn even more. They'll cover a lot of the stuff I did and go beyond. So good luck out there. I hope that the game treats you well, and thank you for watching.
I've looked forward to meeting you.